everybody? Happy Friday. Guys, I didn't know if I wanted to come on live today. I had a very good day. I've been out and about running errands, shopping. I wasn't really I wasn't really trying to do too much today, but then I wasn't really trying to do too little. You get what I'm saying? I got the car washed. My car was gruesome, okay? It was atrocious. It was all of the 10 letter words you can think of, but I got baby girl cleaned up today. And inside and out, all of that stuff. So then I also went and got a pedicure, a very much needed pedicure. Hey, there's my guy. What's good, Joshua? What's good? What's going on this Friday night? What did you do today? How was your week? Let me know all of the things. What's good? Everybody, welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for hitting the like button as you come on in. And don't be in the bushes, y'all. Say hi before you go back to the bushes. Nothing much. You didn't get into too much, friend? It's been a busy week. My Monday through Fridays are always busy with kids. I'm a what am I? Uber driver. I'm a nurse. I'm a counselor. I am all of the things. So that's what my week has been like. And yesterday, I actually stayed at home. Okay, I was home all day and I was so tired, so sleepy. You do the same, busy every day, right? Right. I mean, I had meetings this week. We had Labor Day. Labor Day, I actually stayed at home because it was so hot here where I live. It was like 110, something like that. It was too hot to go anywhere. And plus, like I said, I've been tired. Like on the weekends, I just like to rest. But I told the Barbs, I said, Barbs, let's get out this weekend. Let's go somewhere. But we'll see. We will see. We shall see. Um, I've been wanting to go to the beach, but the girls don't want to go to the beach. I guess I could leave them at home, right? Labor Day was cracking. What did you do, Smooth? What did you get into? Yes. What's up, my guy? Where the men at? Yes, I want to know. Okay, tonight's topic. Remember the other day I said I was going to talk about where us single ladies, single women over 40 and up, where's the best place to find a guy at? As an elevator, you never responded to my email. Tomorrow night, I want to do like a live about the female rap. Um, I posted a short and the short kind of went up a little bit. I have so many comments arguing with me about who is the queen of rap. I say Little Kim. I say Little Kim. But I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow night. Oh, you grilled? You did? You were on the grill. What did you grill? Where am I trying to go? Shoot, I'm just trying to help the ladies figure it out. Um, my grandmother told me. She said, "Look, I never had to leave the house to find a man." And I'm like, "Look, grandma, everybody's not a little cute, little petite, feminine little red bone like you, okay? I talk too much. I like to run my mouth too much." What did you throw on the grill? Oh, you responding to my email? Okay. I'll check it later. Queen of Rap. But I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna do it probably like I don't know, late tomorrow evening. I'm trying to see if a few people want to join the panel with me. But I think that right now, Cardi B's coming back out. She's talking mess. Like she's just uh, ready to show and prove come September 19th. We can talk about that. We can talk about Nicki Minaj. Is she still holding the crown? I think Little Kim for sure. But yeah. Queen of Rappers, Raw Digga, save it for tomorrow because Where is Raw Digger at? Who wants to be Raw Digger? I'm not ready to do that tonight. I want to do it tomorrow. Tonight, tonight's topic, stay focused, Smooth. Stay focused. Stay focused. Did you guys hit my like button? Did you hit the like button for your girl? Listen, that was crazy last night on the Hangman tip. I think they was cheating over there on Lily's channel. I said, let me get up out of here because you trolling. Talk about Raw Digger. You know what? Somebody on the short, if you guys go back and look at the short that I posted, uh, I did the sound. I actually had a different video for the sound, but I was laying down in my bed and I was like listening to the music, so that's why I put that on here. But I actually had another whole video for the sound. It's Queen Bee's or Little Kim's verse from the Quiet Storm. Man, my ex-husband used to have me on everything because I didn't really used to listen to anything by Mobb Deep besides Quiet Storm, but Mobb Deep was everything. Oh my gosh. We used to sit in the truck park listening to all kinds of music. But most of the guys I met, guys, back to the subject at hand, I met them like I met them like on a humbug. I never like went somewhere like, oh, I never went to the club and like I want to meet somebody. Like I never went somewhere and said I'm gonna meet somebody. Like I could always just like throw something on, go to the mall. And sometimes when I wasn't even dressed, right, I just have on anything and then it's like, okay, what's good? What's good, B Fly in the building, as you guys like to say. But I'm from Cali, so it's in the house. B Fly in the house. What's good? Hey Emma, thanks for tuning in with us. What you got going on? Where are you from? I think this is the first time I spotted you in the chat. You never liked Mobb Deep. Popular before your time? No. Well, how old are you? I don't know. I'm in Southern Cali, Los Angeles County. You already know. Listen, when I go out to Home Depot to get my plants, I always see the men's over there. But for me, I'm like, okay, these men's are probably married because usually you'll see the Latino guys, they want work, they want to work. Or if you see the black guys, it's always like the older guys because what's wrong with you young guys? But y'all don't like to do home improvement, do you? What's up with that? It's always like an old black man in there, right? I don't know. I don't know. I guess I need to go on. I usually go during the week too because when I go plant shopping, it's usually when I'm dropping the kids off at school. Then I go run my errands, and then if I have to go to Home Depot for something, usually I take my handy guy Ray. You guys probably seen him on a video or two when we were at Home Depot. I don't know. Did I ever upload that? Focus, Charity. Let's stay focused. Anyway, usually I'll go like with him. We'll go get our stuff. But sometimes when I'm by myself and I'm going to get plants, I see guys at Home Depot. Louis Burgers. I don't get hey Joyce, what's good? Where the heck is Louis Burgers at, Mama? What is that? No, we don't go to Louis Burgers for pastrami. We go to the Hat. Where are you from, Smooth? And when we used to live in the city in LA, we would go to Tams, um, for like stuff like that, chili cheese fries. Do we get mom? Do we get our chili cheese fries from Tams, or do we just get pastrami's and chili cheese fries used to be my favorite. I was just talking to somebody else. You know what? Sakia's made Armand, the crazy lady who got caught stealing wigs. Johnny, don't come in my chat playing for real. In Compton, do you remember Smile Burger? Smooth, do you remember Smile Burger? Over there off of El Segundo and Willowbrook. Smile Burger. I used to go to Marian Anderson. Tam's probably, if I probably were to go to Tam's, I probably wouldn't even like it. But my mom used to work for the post office, and when girlfriend got paid, we used to get chili cheese fries and pastrami's. When my mom used to get paid, my mom used to go buy the whole house. And mind you, I think my brothers and sisters was like 5 and 6. They probably could have shared a Tam's burger. Nope, not Joyce. Joyce let us all get our own burgers, our own pastrami's. My big back self. I was a little girl then. I was a cute little girl then, but I would have my own pastrami and fries. And me and my uncles were my mom's little brothers, right? Kind of how like my kids are aunties already and they're still teenagers. So my uncles were younger and they're a lot younger than my mom. Um, so we would all try to make a bet like who could eat their whole hamburger or their whole pastrami. I never could. Like a 32 ounce, a soda seemed like so big. I used to love Smile Burger. Mama, remember Smile Burger? Oh my God, them chili cheese fries. They used to like the shoestring French fries smooth. The chili. I don't remember Lewis Burgers. We didn't go to Lewis Burgers, did we, Mom? Five Guys. You know what? I went to Johnny Boy. I think I went to Five Guys like once in my life, and it just wasn't memorable. I I think they had just opened up where I live, and it wasn't really memorable. The only thing I remember is that I spent a lot of money, but it wasn't really too memorable for me to go back. If I'm gonna make a hamburger, to be honest with you, I'm gonna go to Vaughn's and get me some of that good 85/15, and I'm gonna come home and make a hamburger because I haven't tasted a hamburger yet that tastes as good as a homemade hamburger made by your girl. Okay? You didn't like Smell? I like Smell. You gonna go? You gonna go to Louis when you go to the city? Does everybody in Cali like avocado? You know what? Not my mama. I used to couldn't stand avocado, but one time I was pregnant. I was pregnant with my second daughter, and we was on a taco run the whole pregnancy. Me like that's when we kicked it off. First of all, people used to have in my family we have a baby here and there, maybe two. I think my first child I was pregnant with my older sister and my aunt. All three of us had babies. Then the next round of babies, my second child, which was like 10 years later, it was me, my cousin's wife, my cousin, and my sister. We were all pregnant together. So we would get together and we would make tacos. And so one time my sister's friend was over and she had avocado and tomato. And I don't know why I did this because I couldn't stand tomatoes, I couldn't stand avocado. But for some reason, to my pregnant eyes, that combo looked so fire and I was hooked ever since. And my kids like it too. Tomatoes and avocado and lettuce. Please believe me. Jody, please believe me. I'm trying to tell you, B Fly. If you haven't had avocado on a taco, you have not lived. It is so bomb. I just ate avocado tonight. I'm gonna post a video tomorrow, but I made some lemon, garlic, salmon. I baked it in the oven. It was fire. It was so fire. Oh my gosh. I haven't had salmon in like forever, but I wanted to go light today. Cause I've been eating. I haven't been eating a lot of the junk food I like to eat, but I've been eating my butt off. So today I said, let me do salmon and like do a side salad. So I smashed that. It was all good. Yeah. You haven't tried avocado smooth? You gotta eat it. Avocado is good for you too. It's like one of those good fats. It is good for your cholesterol and all of that. So, um, and then plus avocados and lemons together. You haven't had guacamole? You can tell. You can see it. You can see it. You can see it. Oh my gosh. Thanks, B Fly. Um, I feel like I won't know that I lost weight until people start asking me, like, what you on that Ozempic? What you had the surgery? They shouldn't be asking me have I had the surgery because I'm not gonna look like I had the surgery because I have not had the surgery. Number one, and when you had the surgery, everybody know you had the surgery. You could tell when somebody lost weight with the surgery. We all know what that looked like, and I'm not gonna look like that. So yeah, get your smoke on, Smooth. Get your smoke on. What's not the same now, Joyce? You see a lot of people from Cali like avocado. Well, yeah, because we get them from Mexico, and it's a lot of Mexican restaurants here in California. It's like Mexican food, Chinese food, soul food is very popular here. Um, I don't know where you live at, B Fly, but that's probably why guacamole is probably like one of my favorite things to eat. And you just take some avocado, um, like tomatoes, red onions, a little lime, salt and pepper, a little cilantro, and it tastes better fresh. It tastes better fresh, and you can't buy like the avocado salsa or whatever like that. It's not gonna hit the same. It's way different. Surgery had people falling off the bone. Oh, Eminem is not the same. Who mentioned Eminem? Yeah, Eminem hasn't been the same in forever. Like since shoot, I don't know when. Oh, you missing? Oh, you mentioned Eminem? Yeah, Eminem is not the same at all. Like the last time I went there, I think the last time I went there was probably, and I think I got us some food. You told me to go to a certain place out there. Remember the last time we had it? That's been years ago. I think I probably had, I think I had to go get some uniforms from work because we had just switched over to uniforms, and I think that was probably 2007, Joyce. 2007, and that's the last time we had it. But yeah, where is a good place to meet single men, and not the club, because that's what we're talking about tonight. If you're a single woman, a woman of a particular age, 40 and up, like myself, um, divorced, single mom, where's a good place to meet a guy at? Or any age, any woman, any single woman, where's a good place to meet? Not just guys, but good men. Now, before I heard golfing, but who's into golf? Like, I'm not into golf. Um, I would think that if you want to meet a good man, but I don't know, are these guys going to the basketball games by themselves? Like, if you want to go see a football game, they're probably too busy into the game. And if they go, are they going as a couple with their wives and girlfriends, or are they going by themselves? Weigh in. Like, guys, let us know. Is that a good place to meet a guy if we want to date? Maybe. I mean, I'm thinking like pool halls, clubs, things like that. No, those are like for one hitter quitters in my mind. In my mind. And also, like work, I feel like you don't want to really meet somebody at work. I remember when before I was married, because once I got married, it didn't happen a lot. But I would have a lot of coworkers trying to get with me, and I never went for that because one, some of my coworkers who tried to get with me, right? They they were like the hoes at work, right? So I was like, no, I don't want to get with you. One guy was like, he said every time he see me, oh, let me take you to Chili's. I'm like, why in the hell would I let you take me to Chili's? Are you cool? And then so finally I said, look, who else are you asking to take to Chili's? And he was like, am I asking you all that? I'm like, but I'm asking you that. And he was like, never mind, because I'm like, you probably done asked everybody at this place, can you take them to Chili's? And he wasn't even all that anyway. Mm-mm. The guys I liked that was all that, they used to try to play cool, like they wanted a woman to like comfort them. I wasn't doing that. Flirting was enough, but you got to go to work with these people, right? And you don't want to be like, you don't want people talking about you on the job, especially if you work somewhere where it's a lot of people and like you got to see these people every day, work closely with them, right? It's not like, okay, they work in another building. No, you're going to see these people. You're going to see them practically every day while you're at work. So for me, that's kind of like, that's a hard one if you're hooking up at work. Now, also, at my former employer, a lot of people did hook up and get married. But again, some of them who got married, you would hear things about the husbands, how they had dated almost everybody there. And where I work for, it's it's like thousands of people work there. So, but still, um, this world is it's a small world, especially at work. It's a small world, and um, people get around, and that gets out. So, um, I was just always advised by my mama, don't what they say, don't she knit where you sleep or eat or whatever, however that saying goes. You guys know what it is. So yeah, I don't recommend going to work and finding the boo. It can happen and it can work out. And like I said, I know many people who met on where I worked at and they got married, and I guess they were happily ever after. I don't know. I was always the last to know about the work rumor mill. Like I never knew to the end. Um, so yeah, and definitely if that person is married, you don't want to get too attached because even if they were to leave their wives, ladies, why would you want them? You know. So no work, no clubs. I guess you would probably want to meet somebody somewhere fun, um, doing something that you like to do, right? So if you're into golf, then because I feel like there's going to be a certain type of person there on the golf course, right? If you're into football, because you don't want to meet somebody somewhere doing something that you don't absolutely love. You don't want to just go to a ball game and you're not really into sports, because that person, usually people who go to basketball games, men who go to basketball games, men who go to football games, they're probably sports fanatics most of the time, unless they got invited by a friend or they got tickets for a birthday or something like that. And who's going to give somebody tickets for their birthday if they're not a sports fan, right? Why would I give somebody I care about tickets to go see the Lakers and I know that they're not really into sports? That doesn't make sense. So, right? If you go into a game to meet somebody or to, I know a lot of women do that. A lot of women, they do that. They go to where the athletes are. Now, I'm 40 and up, so unless you one of those 40-year-olds that look like Drea, that look like, you got to be a good 40 to get you a basketball player, because you can do it. A lot of them are with older women. So don't sleep. Don't think that you cannot bag you a NBA player or an NFL player. I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to go that route. That's a little too young for me. But if you like the young guys and your body is right and your face card does not decline, then uh, you can go that route. Guys, hit my like button for me, please, because I noticed some of you are coming in and out. Please hit my like button. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Anthony Edwards. And what is his name? Jalen? Jalen Green? They're both with older women. They like older women. It's a lot of young guys that like older women. Why is that, Elevate? I think it has something to do with being raised by single moms, right? Being around a lot of their mom's older friends, right? Because last year, um, a little cutie who was like 15 years younger than me was all up in my face. And I'm like, boy, you are way young. He was like, mm-mm. I talked to all my mama friends. I'm like, what? That's crazy. But he was a cutie, but he was young. And he seemed like he was a little, could have been a little bit like cuckoo. But I just want to see what he was talking about. You know, he was in his 30s, still a lot younger than me, but um, yeah, I've never. I think the youngest that I've dated younger than me was probably like I want to say 5 years younger, and that was when I was in my 20s. Maybe they were 21. Maybe I was like 26, something like that. And he was fun. That wasn't too much of a big age difference, but I'm usually one to date older. Right now, I feel like 50 is too old, and I'm almost 50. That's crazy. Yeah, but Anthony Edwards, he got him an older woman, and Jalen, but like I said, Jalen, his baby mama Drea's a cutie pie. Drea's still cute. I feel like she's a weirdo though, you know. I feel like she's just a sack chaser, and I don't know, cause I thought Jalen, you know, he was a little, you know what I mean. I thought he was a little, part of the alphabet mafia. I'm not sure, but cause did you see that video with Jalen when he was with that boy on the bed, and they was like, I'm not gonna go there, but I don't know. That was a lot. That was a lot. But I think some of these women don't care these days. Like they'll know that their partner is perhaps bi or perhaps even not straight. I think like what's his name? Mama, what's that man name that you like to watch all the time? Him and his wife just got out of jail. The Christies. Like that man is so he's flaming. He is flaming, and I think his wife knows that. Um, there was this senator he got caught turning up and partying with men, and he said he was bi, but I think some of these women might know that, so maybe go to a gay club, because some men like to go both ways, and some men want to be married to a woman, but they still want to. I mean, if you don't mind that stuff, I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. I'm just having conversation. Um, Also, ladies, I don't know if you. It just depends on how you feel about life right now, because I know a lot of women are turning to polyamory or polygamous relationships. I actually I deep dived into that, and I also belong to a Facebook group where I kind of go in there like I'm under my fake page and troll everybody in there because I was doing research for a book. I still haven't did that book yet. I sketched it out, and I did a whole I don't know. I forgot the title. What was the title of that book? But anyway, I got to go back in there, ask more questions, talk more mess, and I got to get into my book. I keep saying I'm going to get into my books, but I'm going to get into writing again. I love writing. But anyway, back to what I was saying, back to the subject at hand. A lot of them are looking for a third, fourth, or fifth. And a lot of women like that arrangement. Now, that's an arrangement that could work for me if I was a little bit more, what's the word do I want to use? A little bit more uh social, I guess. Um what's another good better word for that? If I was a little bit more enlightened or or something like that, I guess that would work perfect for me because a polyamorous relationship would mean that I don't have to be bothered all the time. Like I can be bothered with you when I want to, and then I don't have to see you when I don't want to. But I don't like the whole commingling of funds. I don't like because if you're in a true polyamorous relationship, then everybody's supposed to get along. You babysit for one another. Uh uh. But I do like the part where I don't have to see the man all the time. Like he can go somewhere else and have somebody else take care of whatever they need to take care of for him, and I don't have to be bothered every day. I like that. So if you guys are into that sort of thing, let me know. I will give you the link to the Facebook group so you can join and you can get it cracking. So that's another thing. Um, but you want to be careful. Um, a lot of girls, um, what like three young girls in the recent years, um, are on these dating apps, and they're meeting their demise. Be careful with the dating apps. Now, who on here? It's five of you on here. Okay, so participate. But have you guys ever met somebody online, or one of those dating apps? Have you guys ever met anybody on there? And was it successful? Weigh in and let me know. Um, what in my college days, I dibble dabbled on the online, but this is when not everybody was online. Like back then, um, people barely had computers. People didn't really even have cell phones like that. And even if they did have cell phones, they weren't smartphones back then. You have elevated. Do tell. What was your experience like? Not so successful? Okay, okay. So, but I met somebody on there and they actually were very cool. I was like a little leery. Even back then, I was a little leery because I'm like, what if you're a weirdo or a whack job? They weren't. They were really cool, young, nice person, very nice. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. But it was like maybe we talked for about a year, and they lived in another city, so I didn't have to see them all the time. Plus, I was dating other people. By the time me and this person start really, we started being friends more than anything, you know. But I had a little roster back then, okay? Your girl had a little roster. I love when I have a roster, um, because it keeps things exciting. Ladies, I always say that. Have you a few people to date, not sleep with. Don't sleep with all of them. Just one if you're gonna sleep with somebody. Just one. But have a few guys, at least three, because if you have three, okay, then that means that you won't get too caught up into one person. That means you are always um, have something to do. It's exciting. And you can let the best man win. Whoever is showing up for you the most, whoever is keeping you the most exciting. If you're with the other person and you find yourself still thinking about that other person, then you know. Then you know which one is for you. And then, like I said, if somebody gets to acting up, it's easier to say, you know what, Bominos. But if you're just attached to one, and I don't care if you're older, you can still get a roster going. And don't let nobody tell you, oh, you're floozy or that's trampish or whatever. No, that's good, smart, common sense. You're single. Unless you are married, you are single. So let me just put that out there like that. Um, Try to before you get in, think about getting serious. I was watching today on Netflix. I was watching Love Con Revenge, and this woman, it's so scary out there, y'all. It is so scary. That's why I say date a few, because when you date a few, your antennas are gonna be up. Like you're not gonna be so caught up by somebody love bombing you that when you uh when you meet someone, like you just falling head over heels, right? So it was these women, and they were older. They had children, and one of them, this black girl, she went into debt for $2 million. She was getting lines of credit for 400,000 here, 100,000 there. I'm like, girlfriend, what do you do? She said she was a business consultant, but I was like, it's Love Con Revenge, y'all. If you get a chance, it's 6 episodes on Netflix. I wake up I don't really watch TV. I do watch TV, but I don't watch TV like during the day. But when I get up, if I wake up at 2:33, then I might turn it on and then watch something. So I was watching this. Hey, Crystal, how are you doing? I'm from California. Yeah, where are the men at? Where they at? Crystal said, where y'all at? So, where the boys at? What's good? So yeah, the ladies, I think it was one man on there too who got conned, but it was women on there, and one guy was an older guy. That's why I said be careful of the dating apps. And he he was a nice looking older man too, a nice little looking older gentleman, and he knew how to get these women. He knew how to talk to them. He knew how to love bomb them, and he went in. I need $25. Oh, let me borrow $1,000. And before they knew it, he was asking for $10,000. He even asked one woman, "Oh, could you ask your daughter? Could she loan me money? Could see if you can get some money from your daughter." The daughter's like 17. 17. You know how crazy you have to be to ask somebody to ask their child for money for you? I don't know what he was into. But they did finally get him arrested because he had did it to like 5 or 6 different women. That woman had got rid of like $80,000. Gave him $80,000 of her hard-earned money. Now this black chick that was on there, she had 2 daughters, and this guy she actually went to high school with, and so out of the blue, he emails her, and so he's always in his scrubs and stethoscope. He had been lying to her, pretending that he was a doctor. He had her borrow all this money to open up like a surgery center for people with who were getting plastic surgery. But he was a fraud. The whole time he was a fraud, and she racked up $200,000 in debt. And then he was so cold, he had her daughters change their last name to his last name. But when she stopped using her credit and using her name to get him more money, he was like, I'm done. Like, and he texted one of his friends, like, she's not going to use her credit anymore, so I'm done with this. Like, was with her for a whole 5 years. 5 years of sleeping with somebody, married to somebody. Um, you had their kids change their last name to your last name, and all you wanted was money. That's a lot. People are psychopaths. So yeah, at first when I used to hear stories like this, I used to be like, well, that's what you get. Like, why didn't you, why did you fall so hard so quick? But this black chick, she was the type of person that she didn't just fall so hard for somebody. However, I think that once she told him, he asked her to borrow money, and she said, "Well, I don't feel comfortable." He asked her for $100,000, just out the blue, like they're dating, they're seeing each other. Can I have a $100,000? Like that should have been your red flag right there, sis. I can't really like not hold you accountable for that. Um, if somebody started asking you for money, I think I told you guys about this before. It was this guy um, who I used to meet up with for lunch because that's all I was really willing to do is go eat with him. He was a big back. I mean, I was a big back. He was an even bigger back. So when I had business meetings or whatever and things I had to take care of where he worked at, um, we live in the same city, but he commuted for work, and then I would have to go um, commute for my meetings. So when I would have my meetings near his job, he worked like right around the corner from where I would have my meetings. Go figure. So we would hook up and we would eat. We'd go different places and eat or whatever. But he asked me, okay, to let's go to Vegas. And I was like, I didn't really want to go to Vegas with him, but I was like, you know what? I think at the time I wasn't married yet, but me and the ex-husband were on a break. So I probably was just like friends with this guy during one of those breaks and just like whatever. So he was like, let's go to Vegas. I'm like, I don't really want to, but I'm like, okay, why not? Let's go. And so then next thing I know, he was like, oh, um, I got garnished. The IRS hit me up for some money. And I'm like, the IRS just don't hit you up for money or don't just garnish your check. They don't do that. I know because I owe the IRS, okay? Because I just got rid of how much I owe them? Like 10K? I owe the IRS like 10K last year. And I made them wait, okay? I made them wait for that. And I even refused to do my taxes. Let me stop. No, I did do my taxes. I didn't refuse. I did do them. But I got them their money. I paid them their money. But listen, you could pay the IRS $25 a month. As long as you stay, anybody, if you owe the the I, the ARA, and the S, set up a payment arrangement and refile your taxes, amend them to make sure you got everything squared away correctly. Make sure you amend them if they said you owe them if they're trying to hit you over the head, make sure you get all of that arranged. The IRS doesn't just come and take your money unless you've been avoiding them for years, you didn't communicate, you didn't set up a payment arrangement or none of that. Then they might come and take your money, but that's after years of sending you letters. I know. Trust me. I know. So he didn't just get garnished. That nigga probably was broke. Okay? He worked for real. He for real did work. And he was for real like a supervisor on his job and stuff like that. But supervisor don't mean nothing. Like, come on. You could just make 50 cents more than the people under you. And they could be making like $10 an hour. And maybe you make 10.50 an hour. Who knows? Anyway, but oh yeah, I'm getting sleepy. Ugh. Anyway, so he asked me, he told me, he said, oh, baby girl, they the IRS took my whole paycheck. So can you go ahead and just reserve the rooms and I'll hit you back when I get paid? And I was like, what? That's crazy. Honey, I forgot what I told him that day, but the next day I told him, you know what? I don't think this is going to work between us because that was crazy asking me for money. How do you ask somebody to go away for the weekend with you, number one, and you don't have any money? That was so wild to me. That was so wild to me. So, yeah. How did I even get on that? I forgot. But yeah, so yeah, we got to be careful out here, ladies. Oh, that's how I got onto that. Meeting people online. That's how these men met these women. They would come to them on Facebook, even if it's somebody you think you know, like the black girl with the fake doctor. He came to her. She knew him in high school, and he came to her out of the blue. And she saw him in the scrubs. She saw him on his LinkedIn accounts, and she said when she would go visit him, she lived in Florida. When she would go to Atlanta to go visit him, he would leave for work from 7:30 p.m. to the morning, like he had to go work in the ER. But why would a doctor need to ask you for money? Like you're an ER physician, and it's like that. Oh yeah, he told her that he was broke because he had to spend all his money on his mother's medical bills. Who pays medical bills? Do you guys pay medical bills? Like, I think if I'm sick, the last thing I'm worrying about is a medical bill. If it gets to that point, like I'm gonna do a bankruptcy, and they don't put medical bills on your credit anymore, do they? I don't know, but mm-mm. And who's gonna pay their mama medical bills anyway? That's what Medicare is for. But he told her all his money went toward that. And she wanted to get married so bad to a doctor that she fell for a hook, line, and sinker. And I just want to know, ladies, why are you going out here getting yourself educated, getting your degrees, getting these good jobs, okay, making all this money, getting your credit on par to where you can get, where you have access to $1 million line of credit, and you are blowing it all on these men. Nobody, you can get more for your money than that, than a fake doctor. You can for $2 million. This lady could have got her a good man. She could have paid for a good man who knew how to mind, who knew how to behave. You know, I don't get that. I don't get that at all. So be careful on these dating apps. Even if you knew somebody, be careful about showing uh, your net worth. A lot of women like to get on social media and start flossing. You don't know that you are being targeted by these hobosexuals. They see you in the new Benz. They see you. Oh, I just closed escrow on my new house. Um, I'm on vacation. Oh, I'm on my fourth and fifth vacation this year. Oh, you showing off all the stuff that you got, and they're sitting there lurking and they're watching, and they're gonna start showing up in your inbox. I knew somebody that I used to work with. They used to lead with their job. Yeah, I work for so and so because they felt like at that time that they had a prestigious job and they wanted everybody to know where they work. And they would tell people, like, I never tell people where I'm working at. I lie. I do lie. And I'm always broke. I'm broke. I don't have it. And then I always make them feel bad. I do things in a way where I'm broke, but if you were to say you were broke, I will give you that impression like, I know you're not broke. You can't even do this. I don't say it like that, but I say it like that to where you know not to ask me. Now, don't never make yourself a target, ladies. So, yeah. I said Home Depot may be a prospect for us to go find them in. Um, Sporting events might be a good place for us to meet them in. The golf course, um, doing things that you like to have fun with. I'm a museum girly. So I'm trying to get the Barbs to go to the museum with me, but I might have to just get cute and go by myself because I feel like if you want to date, you should date in your wage, in your age, in your in You get what I'm saying, guys? You should date, get in where you fit in, for lack of better terms. Like if you like to do a certain thing, date in those arenas so that you're meeting people that you are compatible with or who have the same type of life goals that you do. Um, I'm a reader. I love Barnes and Nobles. I love to go hang out at Barnes and Noble. I love to go hang out at the museum. I like things like that. I'm a person that likes to go to um, open mic nights. Those are the type of things I like to do. So um, I feel like I'm a studious person. So um, if I meet someone in the places that I like, I will be meeting someone who is that way as well. You don't, like I said, you don't want to just meet somebody who somewhere doing things that you don't really find appealing, right? Church. What do we feel about meeting people at church? Because if you ask me, church is probably the last place I want to meet a guy. Church is full of former crackheads, former jailbirds, former whores, uh, and frauds. People who are trying to get clean, people who are trying to get healed, and all of that stuff. So I wouldn't want to meet a man at church, and especially if you're a mom, because a lot of predators go to the church house to meet women, especially women with kids, so that they can prey upon them. So I guess this should have been a live about where single women shouldn't find men at. But uh, yeah. So yeah, no to nightclubs, no to um, social media apps. I mean, I know people who have found success on there, but like it's like one, like the clock being right once a day or twice a day, right? So you can meet somebody online, but the chances of you meeting somebody online and it working out are very, very slim. I think it's best to meet people in person, um, not at the grocery stores. I should change this to that, like where not to meet guys at. The grocery stores. I met somebody at the grocery store too. I met somebody at the mall. I met somebody. That's when I was younger and didn't have good sense, but I wouldn't do that today. I wouldn't give somebody my number who I did not know, um, or who not at a grocery store, not at a grocery store, or not just like walking through a parking lot. I want to give you my number. Like if you were like at a museum and we were talking about a piece, we were standing in front of a Jean Michel Basquiat and we were just talking and going over it and talking about our love for the arts. Um, Maybe we're in front of a Warhol. I don't know, something like that. Then maybe we could strike up a conversation, and then maybe we could say, okay, let's go for drinks after, then you can talk some more, something like that. But just to roll up on me at the on aisle 3 at Food for Less at Walmart, no. Like, why are you, like, what kind, who does that? Like, don't try to hook up at Walmart, for real. I'm gonna feel some type of way. Also, where else not to meet men? Um, at the hospital, you don't know what he got. Guys, I was recently at the hospital. Um, this must have been like a couple of months ago, like exactly a couple of months ago. I was at the hospital and the doctor comes out and he wants to see people, like, because it was real busy. So he was like, oh, I'm just trying to see who I can talk to right now and possibly uh, start your orders right now. If you need any x-rays or any labs, I can get them started right now. So he said, are you guys comfortable with me asking you questions out here? I'm like, no, hell no. And so he starts talking to uh, a guy. um, I knew who this guy was. He don't remember me though, but I knew who he was. And maybe he was like about in his 30s or something, right? So why did the doctor ask him? So what are you here for basically? And he told him that he was with a girl uh 2 nights before or one night before. He was with her and he started feeling a burning sensation. He started feeling weird. And he says this in front of me and I think another woman. And he's just talking to him. He said, and how many days? And what did you feel? And he was just asking him all his business. And I'm like, what? Whatever happened to HIPAA? And I told the doctor, I said, for real, you ask him this in front of everybody? And he said, well, I asked him if it was okay. I'm like, you know it's not okay. Why would you ask him that? And then the guy was like, yeah, like, why are you asking me that? Like, what do you mean? Yeah, why is he asking you that? Why did you tell him that? Why did you tell him it was okay to talk to you in the hallway, uh, bozo? And why would you start just spilling your guts like that? You knew what you were going to tell him. So anyway, he was like, no, it's too soon. It would take you a couple of days before you would know that. How do you know how long it takes? You don't know how long. And have you had something before? You don't know how long it takes to incubate. I know of a couple of people that the next day they started burning. So, yeah. So don't meet anybody in the hospital, guys. You don't know what they're in the ER for. Some people treat the ER like their doctor's office or whatever because they don't have insurance or because they can't get an appointment and they got something they want to take care of like he had right away. But y'all, I was like, that is crazy that I'm standing here. Hey, boo. Hey, Ann. How's my girl doing? Thanks for stopping by to say hi. I hope everything is going well with you as well. Um, we're talking about tonight's topic is where are the men? Where are the men for the single ladies at? Um, where's a good place to find a good man? And I'm saying right now, don't meet him in the hospital. You don't know what he is sick with. And if you're older like me, and you see a 50-year-old man in there, you don't know what that man got. He might be needing somebody to go home and take care of him. I'm glad you're doing good. We're just winding down the summer, right? Summer is almost over, which is crazy. So yeah, no doctor loves or nothing like that. Well, unless you're meeting a doctor. If the doctor tries to get with you, which would be which would be a violation, right? Um, doctors are not allowed to do that. So don't do that. He might be a cuckoo. Your psych, no, none of that. Oh, if you go to the mental ward, don't do that. I've never been in a mental ward, but if you do, if you've ever been to a mental ward, I was I was on TikTok and this girl said when she was having a manic episode, she met a Russian gangbanger or something like that. He was in a Russian gang or Russian mafia. She met him in a mental ward and she let him come stay with her. Wow, right? That would be so crazy if you are bipolar. Like some people who are bipolar, they get manic, and when they get manic, they strike up these relationships that are just like, what are you doing? But yeah, you don't want to meet somebody on a mental ward. In a hospital, no place where people might be sick. You don't want to talk to your therapist. You don't want to talk to your doctor. So who is left? Who's left? Uh, I always said I wouldn't want to date like the preacher. I feel like I'm going to be a preacher one day for some reason, but I wouldn't want to date a preacher because now I got to act a certain way and be a certain way. And I don't want to do that. And now I got to be nice and speak to everybody and, you know, go through all of that stuff. I don't know if I would want to do that. Oh, yeah. So far we have Home Depot as a yes. We have football games, ball games, golf courses as a yes. Um, Museums as a yes. And where else as a yes? Where's a good place to meet guys? Give me a yes. And Crystal, where y'all at? Give me one more place where a woman, an older woman, 40 plus, where she would find, unless you want to get your groove back like Stella, right? That just came to my mind. Like if you're on vacation, I feel like too, I was saying this too, that people should do this more. You married couples with single friends, start having little get togethers more often. Pool, not pool, but barbecues and maybe card games. That's how they used to do it back in the day, right? And people could just mingle and get to know one another and see where it goes. Like you don't do the hooking up, you just make the space for it. I think I'm gonna start doing that soon as I get some friends. I'm gonna start having like get-togethers at my house so that the soon when I'm married, I'm gonna do that service for my community for all my single friends. I'm gonna tell my boo because my boo gotta have friends, right? I don't want a boo who don't have friends. When I get married, I want him to be social because I don't need him in my face expecting me to be his friend like that. So yeah, do like married couples if you're listening because I know sometimes married couples listen in to my single night shenanigans. Single nights, single shenanigans at 6. You have been sick ever since you took the shingle shot at Walgreens. You're feeling better now. You know what, Ann? That's why I never take those shots. They love to tell me to take the shot, and I'd be like, nope, I'm not going for it. Uh-uh. They just tried to give me a flu shot yesterday. I was like, I'll take my chances. I hope you're getting better though. Maybe you want to just rest, drink lots of water, eat some fruit and vegetables until it passes. You don't have a fever or anything, do you? And if you do, maybe you want to go to your doctor and let them know about your side effects or your symptoms if they get too severe. Like if you start throwing up a lot, diarrhea, and if you can't hold anything down, and you got a fever or whatever. And how long has it been? You said ever since. How many days has it been, Ann? Mm-mm-mm-mm. But yeah, and like I said, if you have these get-togethers, don't hook anybody up. Let them mingle and let them make their way to each other. Because if it doesn't work out, you don't need anybody blaming you. But yes, even if you're single and you have male and female friends, you know a lot of people, um, have get-togethers so people can, um, you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I wasn't going to stay on here too long. Thank you all for tuning in. my replay gang. Thank you guys for listening, because I know a lot of you like to come through and listen on the replay. I appreciate you all, and I hope this helped you with your dating life. Um, I hope you learn something from the do's and the don'ts. Pay attention to red flags. If he seems too good to be true, he just might be. If he's asking you for money, if he is calling you every minute, texting you every minute, if it's like he doesn't have a life outside of you, red flag, flag on the play. Um, Let him go on about his business. And date. Find you a few people to date and date them for a while. Date for a while. See who is still around. See who you really like. Who you really who you really can have a bond with, right? Don't just fall for the first one, because that's usually not a good idea. But yes, guys, I'm ready to drink some water, and I'm about to turn in because I think I got stuff to do tomorrow too. I don't blame you. I have been refusing it for a long time. Yeah. Thank you. Psalms 91 is a good psalm to read. Thank you for speaking that over me. And I got good news this week. I don't know if I told you I got good news this week. I'm going to talk to you guys about that a little later on. Um, you have a great night too. I'll speak to you guys once things could get going. But yes, I'm having a good week. This year is turning out to be a good year. As always, last year was a good year, um, and 23 wasn't so bad. Yeah, life is good, even when we have things that we have to deal with. When we have different trials and tribulations, it's all about how we look at it, right? As long as we stay in gratitude, stay prayed up, we'll be okay no matter what. We'll either learn and grow from an experience, or um, we'll get stronger, right? So always look at life like that. Thank you, and you guys have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna come on live tomorrow and do um, the ladies in hip hop. Who's the queen bee right now? Who's the queen of hip hop? We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned in. I'm gonna post on my community wall the time that I'm gonna go live for sure. So be there or be square. All right, guys, have a good night.